Yo, how you doing, everyone? How's it going? Welcome to another Escapement Show. Sorry we've been absent. We've all had holidays and we've been... Mr. ID guy himself is on holiday at the moment. So...
I'm not. I'm still working.
Hard work. Putting in the hard yards.
Okay, I don't have any fancy mics. I've got a little. So is it fine? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah. That's cool. Coming from a sunny destination, though, ID guy. I'm guilty.
I'm the only one.
I'm sorry. I'm jealous. Not guilty. Jealous.
Yeah, it's been good. 1 week away. I'll for the audience. I'll show the scenery. Southern edge of Spain. It's a view of just pine groves. I've got the laptop plugged in, so you probably won't be able to see much. But,
lovely.
It's very pretty out there. South Coast.
Beautiful. Yeah, so we missed you, everyone. I mean, we had a nice little break. Abdul went on holiday, didn't he, to Egypt, and had a beautiful time. Our good friend Abdul R Watches. Subscribe to his channel and see what watches he took with him, and if he had any other stuff on his channel.
I love jumping onto your videos at times, Abdul. It's so cool just hearing your feedback. After the Larique, I constantly pick up the stuff that you share on the page, and it's so cool. I love your insights on the pieces that you have. It's really nice. So from time to time, I hop onto the page and have a look. It's good fun. I must say your insight's fantastic on the pieces that you collect and you enjoy.
Yeah, JCB, you've been a bit busy, haven't you?
Yeah, life's just been crazy at the moment, but yeah, super busy. But yeah, no, it's good to have a bit of a break from all of the craziness of life and catch up with you guys and talk some watches today, man. Looking forward to it. It's been a long time. So
how long has it been since the last show? Like a month?
It feels like
6 weeks, I think. Well, 6 weeks or something, nearly 2 months. Yeah. So
time's just flown by as well. So yeah. No, it's been hectic. But good to be back.
And before I did my trip, I put together 3 videos in 1 week, in a week and a half. That was death. Basically having all of that lined up and ready to go before getting on the plane. But it was worth it. Like yesterday, I shared a Breitling video. That was fun. That was really
good. I like that Breitling video. You 765, yeah. So before we do a wristwatch check, we'll just
being able to work remotely. Yeah.
Before we do a wristwatch check, just hello to a few people in the chat. We've got Patek Philippe who's upvoted. Thank you. Yeah, if you like what we do, guys, give us a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. We got Kevin Hawthorne, our stalwart viewer from Lakeland, Florida. And Kevin's also saying he did another interview, this time with Parker Street Ministries in Lakeland, Florida. The video is now up on YouTube and the Parker Street Ministries. So check that out, guys. We've got our good friend Luke Betty Mark in the chat. How you doing, Luke Betty? Good to see you, Mark. We've got Russell996. How you doing, my friend?
How's it, Russell?
Good to see you. So a few of the guys in the chat already. And so let's do a wristwatch check. ID guy, I'll put you on the spot. What are you wearing? Oops, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. So,
what you got on wrist?
I was so close to bringing the Rolex Explorer, but since I was going to be in the sea a lot, I'm normally in the sea 3 to 4 times a day, give or take. One only. My faithful FXD.
Beautiful.
I don't wear it as often as I do as I used to when I first got it, but it's just so good for its job when I use it.
Yeah.
It's timekeeping. It's +1, running +1 at the moment. I've had it on for 2 weeks now straight, and it's bulletproof. I mean, the titanium takes a hit but doesn't show it too badly. It's light. You don't even feel it on. It's such a good watch. I still think it's underrated. People don't talk about it. Everyone's about the Black Bay, but the size, I wouldn't change everything about it. Legibility, just works.
FXD all the way for me. FXD all the way, definitely. Yeah. Great watch.
So yeah, I do regret not bringing other pieces. I should have brought maybe the 765 for the traveling and everything. But as a one watch, 3 or 4 straps, the FXD.
Yeah, lovely.
Just
Great holiday watch. Great holiday watch, I must admit. JCB, you're next up.
Well, our friend ID guy's video got me inspired today, so I popped out the Transocean to rock today, if it'll focus.
Love it, man.
Yeah, beautiful.
I love that the gold B logo is also just so killer.
Yeah, it's cool.
I love that on the Milne strap as well. Beautiful.
And I have to ask, I mean, why don't they dig into making the top time a part of this sort of range? Reverse Panda dial. They're sitting on a gold mine. Why Breitling doesn't just give us some 39mm chronos in this format like this? It would be insane. It would be so good.
Yeah, the top times that they have out now, they're just so like there. It's like they've
Mustangs
got
and Shelby Cobras and
catalog.
What are they doing?
I don't know.
Russell saying in honor of the show, he grabbed his freak for a quirky watch. Nice one, was Russell. Very nice.
He's got some insane freaks. I think he has a first edition, the full package. So nice.
Wow.
Like a sun-based blue. So good.
Beautiful. So in honor of the show, Abdul, what are you wearing?
I thought also in the honor of the show, I'd wear my Mad. So
nice. Mad one.
Strap.
That's a Python leather strap. I got it and I thought I'd just install it on it because red on red kind of works quite well for the autumn. And we have here now under 10 degrees weather, so I thought it's time for leather straps.
That's so cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, and me myself, I joined you, Abdul. I got the maroon green on.
Nice.
Very cool.
How are you liking it, Thomas? How's the experience going?
Yeah, it's really cool. It's a nice little fidget spinner. If I can get it to spin round, there we go.
It's spinning.
That's cool.
It's a cool piece, huh? It's something that I haven't really gotten behind, but I do love the novelty of it and the fact that it's a part of MB&F, and it has a lot of the deploy and clasp alone is so sick. I love the little details, the case design, and yeah.
What did you think to the second edition, the new one that came out? Have you seen that, ID guy?
I haven't.
There's a
slightly thinner one. It's called the Mad 1S Slim.
It's a lot slimmer. It's like half. It's like half the thickness.
It hasn't got the minute track on. They've just got the hours. So the hours are segmented up into quarters. So it's a bit harder.
Wow,
you won't get precision time reading out of it, but
who's in it for the timekeeping?
Exactly. It's a bit of jewelry. It's a bit of.
I think it has even a Swiss movement, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's using a Le Duperret movement instead of a Miyota movement, which are both owned by Citizen. So, but yeah, so the topic of the show, guys, was quirky watches. I named it, which are just watches which are a bit the shapes of the cases and the look of them in general are a bit quirky. So I mean, immediate ones that spring to mind. I'll start off and share my screen, and the first one that comes to mind, of course, for me is Urwerk. And Felix Baumgartner is the watchmaker, CEO and co-founder. He was born into a watchmaking family in Schaffhausen. His fellow co-founder and chief designer Martin Frey was born in Windsor, also in Switzerland. The two first discussed their ideas for a watch in 1995 and officially founded Urwerk in 1997. In the same year, they launched their UR-101 and their UR-102 watches at Baselworld. Sci-fi inspired creations with wandering hours running on a semicircular minute track Felix and mine realized their dream in 2003 when they launched their UR-103.01, which would influence the brand's design language for nearly a decade, having wandering out at the bottom of a rectangularish case with a giant crown at 12 o'clock resembling a rocket engine. The model I'm showing on screen is the UR-103.08, and the UR-103 is a reference that firmly cemented the design language of the brand and allowed the financially stable footing that permitted further experimentation. The 103 sort of marked a break from the old world of watchmaking, and the new millennium called out for a new way of laying the time that respected the past while still exploring a new path. And when the 103 presented at AHCI stand at Basel World 2003, watches tended to be round. It was the same year that Rolex unveiled the Kermit, and we hadn't seen things like the MB&F horological machines yet. And the 103 was a bit of a revelation and required a fundamental rethink of what a mechanical wristwatch could be. The orbiting satellites were 160 times heavier than traditional hands and used non-traditional alloys to cut weight. And aluminium satellite discs, non-magnetic ARCAP P40 for the base plate, a grade 2 titanium orbital cross, and a grade 5 titanium caseback for the control board indications. The 103.8 on screen is so-called standard 103 Targa case made of stainless steel for the first time on this model. And early cases had 12 grooves engraved on the top of the case, then 6 in later models. But this even later model goes on for a middle ground of 10 grooves on the case, just on the top as you see. And there's also a curved crystal on the watch. On the top of the steel, Urwerk applies a titanium aluminium nitride coating, which not only makes the case resistant to scratching, but adds a warm purple-brown hue to the colour. The UR-103.8 has a width of 36mm, length of 49mm, and tapering thickness from 14mm to 6mm. Cases have been made in the gold and platinum before, and the Model 103 was in production for 7 years in total and closed production of it in 2010 with 3 special editions. Urwerk have done many other styles of watch with both satellite rotating discs and rotating telescopic hands. The UR-201 in 2007, the UR-CC1, which took over 3 years to develop and won Best Design Watch of the GPHG, and also the UR-11ZRN Torpedo with a revolving satellite complication, which won the Best Design Watch of GPHG in 2011. In 2013, Urwerk made the EMC, which was the first luxury watch to feature artificial intelligence contained in an optical sensor on the balance wheel that captured the precise rate of oscillation from the regulator. And the EMC watch won 2 prizes at the GPHG in 2024. And it's recently made a comeback, the EMC. I'll show later on. In 2017, the UR-T8 marked the 20th anniversary of the brand, the largest and most elaborate carousel configuration to date. In 2018, Urwerk introduced the AMC, Atomic Sympathetic Clock, that referenced sympathetic clocks by Breguet, and this has been a bit of a crazy electric atomic master clock, which was able to wind, adjust, and regulate a mechanical wristwatch via a series of mechanical pins and triggers. Urwerk has never allowed itself to be constrained by industry norms, inventing highly complex movements and creative ways to show the time with disc, carousel, satellite, and while confusing on reliably in precision. And the brand's unique and novel approach to watchmaking has made it a coveted name among enthusiasts worldwide. So that's
one hell of an introduction. I got to say that's a mouthful, bro.
So,
a lot to take in.
Yeah, so this is a 103.8, which, as you can see by the case shape, it's got a lovely flowing curved glass on the curved crystal. Looks really nice.
I've got a cool story to tell you about this.
Yeah, go for it.
We should have Paul Blanford on this chat, because he is like, when it comes to independence and the weirdest watches, I think he goes by the username F1PB on Instagram. And I ran into him just on a whim. We were going to an event together by chance. The PR rep had arranged for a taxi, and we ran into each other in the taxi. He had a platinum one of these on the wrist, and yeah, I got to play with it the whole ride through, and it's amazing. It's such a cool watch. It's stunning. This exact model. So you're talking about those limited editions, those like special editions that came out at the close. Yeah, his one was platinum with those grooves through the top. So
right.
Nice. He's a nutter. When it comes to these sorts of pieces, he goes crazy for them. We'll talk about him later. I think there's a watch that he recently debuted with Revolution a little while back. Yeah, interesting, man. Such an interesting piece. Definitely at the heart of these designs.
I absolutely love her work. They're probably one of my favorites out of the whole of the quirky sort of watch styles. Really are. I mean, that's how you set it at the back, and it's just discombobulating for me. I mean, looks like it's got a power reserve here.
Is this one has also this service interval?
I don't know how long. There's Felix Baumgartner and Martin Fry on the Felix Baumgartner on the left and Martin Fry on the right.
I remember they had like a gauge, and according to how many times you wore the watch, it reduces the time needed for the next service interval. So it's not like come after 5 years for the service. No, when the gauge tells you to go to service, you should get the watch to the service.
That's really cool. Is that what those little clocks are, do you reckon? You think those gauges are what counted? That's interesting.
I think one gauge, but I don't know if it's on this model or another one, because I remember seeing it in one video, and the collector who was talking about his watch, and it has this, let's say,
the gauge on the back you're talking about.
Yeah, not these ones. I think this one's for setting time, right?
Yeah, this is an early one.
Yeah,
I think the later ones probably makes sense.
Probably, yeah.
Really cool. Yeah, that's the heart of when we think of weird and quirky watches. This one's like it's right up there.
Yeah,
definitely for me. I mean, this is.
I'm not a fan of see the color of the case there in this photo, but then when you go to the other ones, it looks a lot more shiny. Like the color looks different.
Weird, right?
I'm not a fan of this color, but on the other ones it looks cool. But besides that, it's just so cool. So amazing piece. Everything Urwerk does really is just mind blowing, revolutionary how they do it. The watchmaking and the movements. Yeah, they're on another level for sure.
I'd just like to say welcome to Watches with Dennis. He does a great live stream, which I'll link to after the show. And Saturday live stream, it's 4 p.m. GMT. I'm not sure what that is American time. That's probably 11 a.m. Eastern time. But he says it looks pretty good, so I think I'm too boring to have a good wear case scenario for it. I'm sure you could find a good time to wear one of these. What, Dennis?
It's your daily beater. Come on, Dennis.
Yeah.
And Bill's comment is classic.
Russell says, can I repeat that even to start?
Yeah, that was one hell of an introduction, Thomas. That was mind blowing.
And then Bill says, what Chinese watch is that?
Brilliant.
Hey, Y2K.
Yes,
sharing.
So there's that work, and then they recently re-released the EMC, which is this one. And they did it with parts from the Blackbird aircraft.
Far out. SR-71.
Whoa.
So this is another work. So it's got
I think I'm the one that might be lagging on the side. I don't know.
It's got the seconds at the top, the time at the bottom,
There it is. Whoa.
the power reserve there, and I think this is to measure the accuracy of the watch.
That is one weird thing, man.
Yeah.
I think the designers of the SR-71 would be very disappointed if they had to be given this as a, you know. That's funny.
Yeah, this one's getting a bit out there, isn't it?
It's like the
Sort of got
Patek
that-
emergency.
What's
but
that?
above
What's
and
that
beyond.
English brand with the things on the side? Graham or
Graham,
something?
yeah.
Graham watch.
It's got to be that Graham look about it, which is not good.
Which is
Well, it's actually an arm that comes out. It's a crank.
blanket, yeah, like an old 30s car, 20s car. That's right.
This is a bit of metal from the Blackbird aircraft. I think if I can just...
You really have to like
Can't
aeroplane
find it.
and have a
Yeah.
big personality.
Oh man, but if this is, I wouldn't put SR-71 on this. You know, that plane is an absolute masterpiece, man. And this is
Yeah.
Let's
amazing.
see what price they're talking for this one. It's
200 grand.
180,000 Swiss francs.
Wow, I'm on it.
Ouch.
Even on holiday, I'm on it. Jesus.
Wow.
SR-71.
Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't scream SR-71 at all. So, but hey, it's novel, and that's what we're talking about today, right?
Yeah.
Weird and quirky.
Yeah.
Novelty pieces.
So I've got another short explanation.
Oh geez.
For
You can
The
cut
next-
like segments out of it if you like.
for the
Like,
next brand,
Paragraph. Go for it.
and having collected an
What is the
expert in watches called David Zanetta and watchmaker Denis Flageolet, founded Bethune on the 22nd of April 2002. They first crossed paths in their time working at Technique Horology Appliquée, THA, a manufacturer that Francois Paul Jean founded along with Pascal Corneau in the late 1980s. And they met during the relaunch of the El Leroy brand. At the time, Denis Flageolet was working as a restorer for antique clocks, where he honed his in-depth knowledge and skills in the tradition of watchmaking. Instead of putting their own names on the dials of the watches, and so many of their contemporaries are doing, the duo looked to past inspiration for a name, and they named the brand after Chevalier de Bethune, an 18th century French nobleman and revolutionary escapement designer. And it was fitting as it indicated the importance the duo placed on the history and classical watchmaking and the inventiveness driven the brand's namesake. The Bethune of today is known for its designs marked by distinctive futuristic boldness and its constant experimentation, the materials and the science of timekeeping. So the familiar with the brand are now in disbelief at the brand's rather conventional style. And the DB1 chronograph was de Bethune's very first offering, a traditional-looking monopusher chronograph with Roman numerals and Breguet hands, featuring a closed case back so you couldn't see the movement like the modern pieces. The only distinct design feature was the ogival or bullet-shaped hand lugs, that would become part of the brand's aesthetic and DNA. When the first few years, de Bethune had already put out about a dozen references, and including the DB2, the DB3 dual time, and the DB8 single register 45-minute chronograph, and then they developed their first in-house caliber, the DB 2004, which was simply named after the year it was introduced. It was a twin-barrel manual wind movement with 6-day power reserve and the brand's distinct delta-shaped balance bridge, which is visually interesting but technically capable. It was first put into classically inspired DB15 perpetual calendar, which used a steel and palladium orb for the moon phase. In 2009, Bethune released the DW1 Dream Watch, I believe that it stood for, and it was the first time they had experimented with an angular balance wheel made from silicon with a rim of platinum, which they patented. And they featured cushioned lugs which flexed to provide a comfortable wearing experience. Zanetta is also keen on aesthetics of ancient Egypt, he says. Said he designed them inspired by the silhouette of the Sphinx. And in 2011, the DB28, which had only been released a year before, won the Agidor top prize at GPHG. And it was this line that was introduced to Bethune's signature floating lugs, or articulated lugs, as they're referred to. The DB28 GS Grand Bleu is the one pictured on the screen, and the DB28 has been a vehicle for many of Bethune's experiments. It's a kind of blue. It sported an entirely blue titanium case, a first in watchmaking. And the DB28 is also fitted in Bethune's tourbillon and maxi chrono and jump hour complications in the digital. The Bethune repeated its GPHD success again in 2014 and again in 2018. In 2014 with the DB29 maxi chrono tourbillon, and they got the chronograph prize. And in 2018 it was the Stradivarius chronometer tourbillon that won the chronometry prize in the competition. Between these two, most recent GPHGs wins, changes had taken place at the company, and Zanetta flagellated a new chief executive officer called Pierre Jacques in charge. Following his departure in 2015, Jacques came back a couple of years later, this time heading up a consortium of private equity investors and buying up a majority stake of Bethune. Zanetta had all but retired by this time and point and sold his share of the company and officially stepped down. Then, in a surprising development in August 2021, the company got a new investor, luxury used watch retailer Watchbox, acquiring a majority stake of the brand. And since then, Bethune plans to increase output to 230 watches per year, but I believe they are actually currently putting out 150 watches per year. So onto the watch on the screen. This was the DB28 GS Grand Bleu, released in 2019. Was billed as the brand's first sports watch. It's hardly the kind of watch you'd choose to go diving with, even though it has 100 meters of water resistance, or go to the gym with.
I definitely would use that.
Would
Beautiful.
you?
Oh yeah. If I had that sort of money, absolutely.
Really. It's made of lightweight titanium and featuring the brand's signature flexi lugs. It featured the dynamo-driven lighting system that reduced the need for top-grade lume and used a bluish-white light source to illuminate the dial for a few seconds once it had been sufficiently charged. A pusher at 6 o'clock released the energy stored in a second barrel, which is wound by the auto mechanism. This energy, which travels through its own gear train, produces just enough power to illuminate the dial for a few seconds. And the reality wasn't a sports watch, because it was too delicate, really, both internally and externally. Yeah, it's a great quirky piece that pulled off the internally charged lighting before the recently released Panerai Lab ID did. With the Panerai costing £52,000 now, the Bethune DB28 GS Grand Bleu did cost nearly twice as much on release in 2019 with a price tag of $93,000 plus taxes. So, yeah, I mean, this is the Grand Bleu, they call it, which is
that's another monstrous intro, Thomas. Well done. Got to commend you for that. That is a lot to take in.
Well, I'm trying to include a bit of history of the brands, just to sort of.
Yeah.
Sorry to be so monstrous.
No. Good job, Thomas.
That's a cool piece. I like that bezel.
You can see it's got these lights. It's got these lights, these blue lights, which illuminate the dial. So rather than having a LED, that's meant to illuminate the dial, which I don't think does a very good job.
I remember seeing it when it arrived. I remember seeing some of the promo images of it, and it looked pretty cool. It's interesting. It looks like your typical what LEDs on a watch dial would look like. You just have little bright spots of light around it. Yeah, it looks interesting. It's a bit of a novelty, but you're right. It doesn't work as well as Luminova would.
Does that bezel rotate, Thomas, on this one?
No, I don't think so. No.
Why is it serrated? Why would they put grip on it?
Yeah, it sort of looks like it. It looks like it would be cool to rotate that bezel because you got like a diver sort of style bezel, and on the inside you got a minute track as well. So it's sort of like, I don't know. I feel like this one you could.
And could you use the light when you're underwater? Do you know that?
I'm sure you would. I mean, 100-meter water resistance. I'm sure it would be okay.
That would be a good application for it, right?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Because if you
I would totally wear this to the gym and in the sea and stuff. It'd be perfect, man. So cool. Yeah, and no one would even look at it twice because it's just, it's so bonkers.
So Russell says, great horological history, not so keen on the Star Trek look of their pieces.
It does look like the Star Trek badge.
Yeah.
Mark's saying, unfortunately, if I want a case with flexible lugs, I can only afford a Formex Essence. Hey, Mark, we all have to start somewhere. So, what with Dennis? I like the flexible lugs on many of the Bethune models, but it's just about the only thing. Since I always think of Star Trek models on watches eyes, I cannot reconcile the design with the price. I know what you're saying, Dennis. The Star Trek main plate is a bit of a put off for a lot of people. I don't get it either myself. This sort of Star Trek main plate in the middle.
Was it deliberate, or was that just a part of their design? Did they deliberately want to put Star Trek on the plate?
Yeah, you're right, ID guy. It's a part of their design. It's
really.
But I mean,
byproduct maybe of the design that looks like that.
I hope they don't get copyrighted or trademarked by them. That would suck.
Yeah.
But I mean, if we check out their new sort of main owners.
I'm just looking at the logo.
The 1916 company, as they are. I mean, they did some more conventional styles, but you can see they go with the articulated plug ones.
Skybridge, that's still.
I'm not a fan of this one, but there's one a little bit further down. It's beautiful. I think it has numerals around the dial. Oh, that one with the tourbillon at the base there. That's the handset. It's stunning. So, second from the left.
This one.
That's a cool handset, bro. That really that complements the lugs nicely. Interesting. Very neat. And you can actually tell the time on it. I mean, it's a blessing, right?
How do you feel about these watches with Dennis without the Star Trek logos on? I mean, a cool $94,000, $95,000. I mean, I'm in love with this one, which is the where is it? The digital, the DB28 digital.
Oh yeah, me as well.
Jump power.
The jump power, yeah. I think that looks amazing. It's not really de Bethune at all. It doesn't have that look of de Bethune, apart from the articulated lugs. But it's just
What are your thoughts, JCB, on this whole collection? Sorry, Abdul. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, generally de Bethune is pretty cool. I like what they do. It's really unique. You know, they've got their own design thing going on. They've got this whole rocket ship space thing going on. It's really cool. But this one, I'm gonna go against the grain on this one in particular. I think because I feel like with this sort of a jumping hour look, this would be more suited to a more traditional sort of looking piece. I think with the lugs, it seems like it's a bit mixed up in my view. But yeah, but generally, yeah, de Bethune, yeah, can't go wrong. Bit out of my price range, but yeah, there's something cool.
100 grand here, 100 grand there.
I'm just trying to think, like, if I had that sort of money, would this be something I would go for? I'm not quite sure, to be honest. I think this is sort of, you know, once you've had a few pieces, and you know, if you're a serious collector, you know, you've got a couple of Pateks and APs and whatever, and even maybe you've got like, you know what I mean? Then you sort of go down this pathway.
I think you're right there, JCB. I think that's the case with a lot of people, with a lot of big collectors. It's you get a few Pateks, you get a few, and then you go into big independents.
Yeah, even for independents though, this is stuff's on another plane. I reckon. Like it's pretty niche as well. De Bethune, I reckon. Like even like for independents, you might want to go to something like a Recepi or like you know, like an MB&F. Look, MB&F's pretty out there as well, but like this stuff is way out there.
There was a beautiful one that came out where the whole case articulated. You had Roman numerals on one side, turned it over, and it was like fully skeletonized. That was a stunning piece. Came out 2 or 3 years ago, I think. That was crazy cool.
Yeah, that was like 2 watches in one.
Yeah.
That's an industrial designer. What do you think of them then, ID guy? What's your opinion on de Bethune?
Well, like I say with anything, to come up with your own identity is always difficult when you're a brand trying to like set yourself apart from everyone else. The case design is what defines them. I think it's stunning. It's really fascinating.
I mean,
as for the dials, though, no, that looks like a Panerai.
I know. This is totally break from the norm, isn't it? This doesn't look like a DB at all. It's a DB20 EMT.
Like Panerai married Roger Dubuis from the early 2000s.
Yeah.
But I mean, just the DB28s, just a stunning. The layout is so pretty. The dials, can be hit or miss. I much prefer the simpler dials. I'm not so much a fan of the heavy embellishment all over the place.
Yeah,
because it's nice. It's that old world of you have a pocket watch sitting inside a case that's skeletonized, and that's really, really nice. Adds to the whole, modern classic feel. But with the Star Trek and all that, don't know. It's too much. A little one step too far. That can be a quote from the series. No, what's the main line from the series? One step too far is good enough.
Yeah, what was it then saying? Not that jump hours, too much negative space. Hi to Timepiece Bob. Good to see you, my friend.
What's that watch? I think it's that IWC, the Paul Weber. Jump hours, sort of that very traditional sort of looking pieces. I think suits a jump hour. When you put it into one of these cases, it doesn't sort of quite work for me.
Yeah, that double-sided piece was amazing. Right? That's a cool watch.
We'll skip de Bethune and we'll go on to your darling JCB. I don't know whether you wanted to pull up the horological machines.
Yeah.
And we'll skip through some of them.
Yeah, 100%. Let's do it. Let's go. What do we got?
So Maximilian Busser graduated in Lausanne, Switzerland, with a master's degree in microtechnology engineering. And he says that he didn't know what he wanted to do after that. Probably go to work for a big corporation like Procter & Gamble or Nestle or another. By chance, Max met the CEO of Jaeger LeCoultre, who offered him a job. Max's love for high-end horology was strongly influenced by working for JLC, where he spent 7 years in a senior management team during an exciting period of change and growth. Max was then appointed managing director of Harry Winston Rare Timepieces in 1998 when he was just 31. During the 7 years, he transformed the company into a well-respected horology brand, where he worked with many talented independent watchmakers from F.B. Jean to Vianney, Halter, Christophe Claret, Felix Baumgartner from Urwerk, and more on the innovative and revolutionary Opus series of timepieces. This gave Max the greatest satisfaction and planted the seed for development the concept further still. In 2005, after the Opus 5 he had been put to bed, Max resigned from Harry Winston with a desire to allow his full energy and creativity for his own ideal, which turned out to be MB&F. With his new company, Maximilian Busser has a full creative liberty to indulge in his passion for working with the most talented independent horological professionals, rushing his limits of horology into a new dimension, and recognizing the individuals in each project is not just a key element, it is essential to completely integral to everything the brand does. MB&F is one of the main high-end luxury watch brands which is so openly transparent regarding their partners and collaborators, and each horological adventure is a closer collaboration with a team highly talented friends, as they are regarded, people with specific skills needed for each project. The friends' skills include product design, case and movement manufacture, finishing, logistics, photography, and communication, to name but a few. The friends concept started when Max was still working for Harry Winston and drew a sketch of the first horological machine, which had 2 circles on a flight to Singapore. One side was him, on the other side was friends, says Max. Since 2005, his team has grown from just him to 26 full-time friends employees, as well as 40 to 45 external friends who contribute full-time. In this time, since 2005, they've created over 16 calibers. The friends started with 14 different watchmakers from the Harry Winston days and grew from there. And there have been 15 horological machines, I think, possibly more. Then the legacy machines, and more recently the sub-brand called Mad Gallery, where Max makes and exhibits his other people's artwork, some related to horology, as well as the entry Mad editions that makes the Mad 1 watches, which started off as a gift for the friends and evolved into a limited edition production line. So here we see the horological machines, and so many of them. I think there's been 11 made so far.
Yeah, 11. Oh, we've got the HM8 Mark II as well, so probably 12.
The number 5 is my favorite, what you just saw. This one is just...
Number 5,
That's one. Reminds me reminds me of the Testarossa, the Lamborghini Diablo, this era of supercars that you're just flipping a coin. You don't know if you'll survive the next ride.
Oh, it's so cool. This is the designer's dream. Again, I need to throw Paul Blanford, F1 PB on Instagram. He's such a gent of a guy, and he collects all of these. He's like a brand ambassador for MB&F at this point. And man, if you want to see this sort of stuff, he's got tons of it on his page. And the watches are just insane. I mean, it's a designer's dream to have this sort of freedom to be able to create Whether or not you could wear them is another story, because some of them do look a bit very out there on the wrist, but just unreal.
I love this one the most, probably number 4 out of the HM machines. This one, when you see it on someone's wrist, it just looks like it's an alien spacecraft that landed. Yeah. It's so cool, amazing piece.
It's like somebody put a tachometer of a car on the wrist, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, it's mental.
But what's so nice, what I like, is that there is like a distinct divide between the timekeeping elements and the working movement. So you can really enjoy all the aspects. That's one thing that most brands don't really think about. It's the sculptural side of it, but it's also how do you integrate the mechanics so that it's all visible. Like the number 11, for example, you've got everything centralized so you can see the movement working, but then you've got all the other aspects to look around it for the timekeeping, so it doesn't get in the way of the time telling. You know, that's so nice. It's just unreal. Another world.
This one's mental as well. Number 9.
Oh, winding crown in the middle. That's so cool. I think this would be my sort of choice.
Yeah, far out.
Wow. It's so expensive to do this stuff. Oh, you've no idea.
Hi, Deej. Good to see you, my friend.
Morning, Deej.
Cool.
It's very elegant, watch face.
Yeah. It doesn't look like they're using cap screws to secure it, though. It looks like flathead screws. That's bad.
Oh, yeah.
Bad. It needs to be cap screws. I would change it. I'd be like, no. Oh, no, they're not. They're actually special triple. Oh, they're actually really cool. They're not flatheads. Wow. Good thing. Oh, it's just so sick. It's just so out there. Love it. Yeah, this would probably be my choice, given the options.
Yeah, I think MB&F is just... if I'm a person with that amount of money or budget for watches, MB&F would be definitely on top of my list for work watches.
Absolutely,
100%. Yeah,
but it just looks so pretty, you know, just on a table, just seeing it displayed. It's something else. You don't actually want to wear it; you just want to look at it, because it's a desk toy, you know. It's something you just want to have on display. It's insane. They've basically taken the JLC makes those clocks. Those what's the term for those clocks?
Atmos, the Atmos clocks.
Atmos clock. It's like a miniaturized Atmos clock in a way, right? Thanks for that, Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, I love the new HM11 Architect that's been nominated for a GPHD. The one that the looks, that one, top one.
Killer. A real alien, real Roswell.
I mean, this has got a compass on it. I think it's got a thermometer on it. It tells the time. It's you rotate it to wind it. You rotate it to change the time. I don't know whether it's got a tourbillon in the middle or not. But it's just awesome. This one, I love it.
Yeah, Thomas, speaking of compasses, for the last week, I've had no signal on my phone going out of the place where I'm staying. And all I have is a map and phone compass. And it's amazing just how useful. It's all you need. You don't need Google Maps and all that stuff. As long as you know you're traveling northwest or southwest, and the compass. Genuinely, I've appreciated the compass so much more, because English is very difficult to understand out here. So you have to really be quite self-reliant and just take your time with finding things. So yeah, compass would recommend.
Yeah, but this is where Max Biz and friends started with the horological machines, and they're just some absolutely balmy ones. You know, the Bulldog and the...
But the ultimate question is, would you wear it? If you had all the money in the world, would you actually be wearing this watch? Or is it just too far out there?
It's almost a piece... It's like the stuff he sells in his mad gallery. It's mechanical art, he calls it.
I'd wear it.
And it's the big clock and the stuff like that, and they sells. It's like, I don't know.
What's the one with the little aliens that are in there? It's like an alien spaceship. Remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's number 8, maybe. No, not 8. Up, I think a little bit.
The bulldog is a cool one. I think it's number 8. No, number a little bit further up. That bulldog that Thomas mentioned. That's also a killer looking piece.
There's this one where they put like
so cool.
alien. Yeah.
Alien. Yeah, I know what you mean. You mean like the diver one. It was like in red, I think. If you go scroll up.
No, it was a HM6 alien. It's not. I don't think it's on their page. Hang on, I'm just looking on another.
Yeah.
I'm just looking offline. I'll get a picture.
You're right. It's the HM6 Alien Nation something.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get a. Oh, here it is. Yeah, and I'll get it. I'll pull it up.
It's got a bit of a blue hue. Yeah.
Yeah, look, this is crazy, man. Hang on, give me 1 sec. I'll get it up. Share screen. So this is the HM6 in sapphire, and it's got an alien sitting. It's like, and there's another little alien there. You can see that one.
Yeah, we can see that one.
All alien spacecraft. Like this is when we talk about getting a UFO on the wrist. He actually made it. Like, come on, man.
Or at least they know where their inspiration comes from. I mean,
it's so cool. This is cool. Man! This guy's on another planet, man. Like literally, come on.
Literally another planet. It's just unreal. Every single time I see a new launch, I think how, what, why, when, unreal.
Would you rock this one, Thomas?
Yeah, go for it, Thomas.
Second, JCB.
Would you rock this one with the little aliens?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I'd rock any of them, but they stand out a mile, don't they? I mean, they're real talking points. I love them as a big art fan myself. I love them as works of art. I mean, would I spend 100,000 on one? Yes, probably. If I was in that millionaire billionaire league, I mean, these aren't for the common garden punter. These are what we're wearing, the mad ones. But that's why I bought this, because I love it. It's a little bit of novelty artwork. It's
a little bit of MB&F. It is cool. Yeah. It's a really clever idea.
Exactly. I have to say,
Thomas, I don't know if you're going to be bringing this up during the show, but the Magnum, I don't know if I can pronounce it right, but MAGHNAM. It's a new release that's just come out quite recently from a guy, independent maker in Dubai, and the same sort of vibe as Urwerk, but for like $3,000, if I remember right.
Oh, really?
And it's going to make a big splash. I just saw it on Revolution Watch the other day because I know Paul. He was helping promote it. I think he's like one of the investors in the process of building these watches, and they are sick. So I don't know if you'd like to pull that up in the show maybe a bit later on, but awesome, really awesome what they're going to be doing. He outsourced the design of this watch to dentistry, basic dental engineers, because of the tolerances. He's made it as thin as physically possible. It's like 0.4 of a millimeter, the thickness of the material he's using, titanium and all the rest. So, yeah, if you guys have a moment, I think, Abdul, you'd be better pronouncing it than me. But MAGHNAM. MAGHMAM. Sorry. MAGHNAM. Magham.
Magham, yeah. Magham watches.
So just to continue with MB&F, I mean, the Legacy Machine was another one that he did. The Legacy Machine Perpetual Evo and Sequential Evo. The Perpetual Calendar and Sequential Evo Chronograph. are some of the most recent GPHG winning watches, designed by a Northern Irish friend, the watch designer Stephen McDonnell. And Max Biss started making the legacy machines in 2011, and Russell 996, as he prefers the legacy machines. And as a departure from the spaceship designs and the unique time vessels, they came around in round cases with classical features like Roman numerals and elegant lacquered subdials. And they were Max's tribute to 19th century watchmaking with an MB&F signature twist. The spectacular flying balance wheel suspended in mid-dial. The legacy machine Perpetual really started a voyage into horology from MB&F. But in 2020 in zirconium, which are these cases. The models on screen are the zirconium ones here, and then he did a titanium one in 2021. 581 components, 44 mil, 17.5 mil thick, and 80 meters water resistant. He made them thanks to the screw down crown and emerald green dial, but 152,000 Swiss francs, which is 176,000 US dollars, and recently, Chanel has acquired 25% of MB&F. And I bring to question, are they still an independent brand, do you think? I would say they are, because they've still got their independent sort of they're still
I think they are. Yeah. I was actually thinking about this today because I was thinking about Breitling actually. Breitling was a family-owned company, and then they were bought out by private equity investors. They're basically owned by a private equity hedge fund, but despite that, they're still an independent company. They're not part of a conglomerate or a watch group like Swatch or Richemont or whatever. And here, MB&F have still. Max Biss has still got a majority shareholding. Chanel's a minor shareholder. So, I still think that they definitely think they're independent.
Yeah, I mean, it's the fact that they're able to still create these amazing things. They have the freedom to create. It's fine. As long as he stays the majority shareholder, I don't think that will change.
Yeah, I mean, even Recepi has investors. A ton of investors. In a Crivier as well. So, I think all of these guys, to be able to actually get up and make what they're making, they've got investors from all over the place. They need that capital, right? So I think you've got a big name like Chanel with a big chunk, but still that's only 25%. It's not in the majority shareholding. So, and if Chanel had 51% or something, then you'd probably want to then you'd be worried about it. But until that time, I think it's all good. And I've got to say, Thomas, by the way, the LM Perpetual Evo is like my number one all-time favorite watch.
The one and done, boy. It is.
Like if I won Tats Lotto, that would be the first watch that I'd go and buy.
Yeah,
100%.
Bang.
Just fucking.
So good. So the one thing.
What Dennis says. They are pretty independent, but the F in MB&F now stands for fragrance. Max Biss and fragrance.
My goodness.
Nice one, Dennis. That's a good one.
The one thing that sort of puts me off, I don't know if it's just me, but it's that chicken wishbone, where the balance is sitting. If that was like a matte black,
just gonna crack it.
Yeah, if that was matte black instead of polished, I think I would be so keen. I don't want it to be so visible, But otherwise, the symmetry is insane. I love the skeletonizing. It's just gorgeous. Power reserve, everything. Unreal.
Well, this movement, I'm pretty sure, Thomas, this was Stephen McDonald.
Stephen McDonald from Northern Ireland, yeah.
Yeah, like this was his first piece that he did with Max Biss, and then he went on to the sequentials and the sequential flyback as well. So
those chronos are just unbelievable.
Yeah. Like the guy's a full blown genius, man. Like he's on another planet. So yeah, if you can get a McDonald watch, I reckon you gotta get one.
Yeah.
So we'll continue with the legacy machines, but from a different independent brand, which was a collaboration, and that's from Moser and MB&F collaboration, Endeavour Cylindrical Tourbillon. Not to circle jerk about MB&F too much. I thought another great independent brand fan of is Moser, and some of their quickest watches, however, have come about during collaborations with MB&F. Though Moser Cie was founded in 1828 and has made some rare creations ever since, which are made by hand and powered by their in-house calibers. Malin Edward Lenore Bertrand Melb is the current holding group since 2006 of Moser and Precision Engineering, who make the hairsprings and the components for the Moser and their sister brand Hortolance. MB&F carry rooted in and other brands. Melb was founded by George Henry Malin, who is the former CEO of Audemars Piguet until 2008, along with his three children. Edward Malin, one of the three children, is currently CEO of Moser and Cie. Melb also brought a stake in Agenor, who specializes in movements designed by Moser, and is well known for their Pioneer line, Endeavour line, Heritage Pilot style watches, Streamliner line, and Edward Malin is a big fan of having fun with the watch designs as well as producing the Swiss cheese watch, the Swiss Alps watch, and that was the take on the Apple Watch, and the Nature watch, which has grass on it. And Edward put himself into the position of being a watch collector and tried his best to introduce new collectors to independent watchmaking. Moser's market reaches 30% to the USA, 35% to Asia, 25% to Europe, and 10% to the Middle East, I believe. And as well as recently collaborating with the Alpine Formula One team, Moser collaborated with MB&F on two watches, the Endeavour Cylindrical Tourbillon and the LM101. These are both steel case watches made in limited editions that took some of the best design cues from each other while maximizing their shared relationship with Precision Engineering AG. Max Beezer said about the collaboration, "When I called old Edward to tell him that I wanted to collaborate on a creation, I mentioned that I really like the double balance spring, the Moser Fume dials, and the concept watch series. Edward immediately told me that I would let me borrow these features, but on condition that he could also reinterpret one of my machines. After an initial moment of surprise, I gave it some thought. Being 50% Indian and 50% Swiss, I am firmly convinced that my mixing DNA creates interesting results. So why not try the experiment in watchmaking?" So this is the Endeavour Cylindrical Tourbillon, and the case is reminiscent to many as a take on MB&F's first women's watch, the legacy machine Flying T, and the MB&F legacy machine Tourbillon being sized between the two. And there are 5 dial variants: funky blue, cosmic green, off-white, ice blue, and burgundy, which is one on the screen. At 12 o'clock is the 1-minute flying tourbillon with a cylindrical balance spring made by Precision Engineering. It almost resembles an organ in the body concentrically at work and has everything to do with the theatrical intent behind its decision. And behind its design, sorry. And at 6 o'clock is Moser's, you can just see it ticking away there. At 6 o'clock is Moser's take on the MB&F titled subdial, which is tilted at 40 degrees, intended to only allow the wearer to tell the time. The dial is made of sapphire so as to give a maximum visuals of the Fume dial, and the watch is powered by the Moser caliber HMC 810 automatic with its 75 hours power reserve, again by Precision Engineering. The case is 42mm and 19.5 thick, and the dome crystal is with a dome crystal, and 15 pieces of each in the 5 colorways available were $79,000 in 2020. And I just love this flying tourbillon here. Beautiful.
That is a cool piece. The rounded crystal.
Yeah,
you don't want to hit that on a door jam.
No.
Yeah. I've been hitting my mad all over when I wear it, so this one would be scratched, definitely.
Yeah, it gives you that snow globe sort of feel. Hey, you expect to see some animation going on inside it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Interesting concept, gotta say.
Yeah, the translucent dial is really nice as well.
That's a nice idea. Lets you appreciate the fume on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think when
they
sun
could do
shines
so much
through, it's
more with
beautiful.
it. They could do so much more with this kind of concept. Maybe not the high elevated crystal and all of that stuff, but they could, go a bit more mad on the dial, but leave it in a Moser case, and it would be stunning. I love these Moser Endeavors are gorgeous. I've been looking at them recently, and you can find some pretty good steals if you pay close attention. They're sort of where Lunga used to be, in 2015, and you can find them for good prices. Lunga now, it's just depressing seeing.
Crazy.
I had the money back in the day. 1815 chronograph breaks my heart. A decade ago, you could have gotten it for such a good. Now it's just So yeah, I think Moser is one of those brands that's well worth looking into just for that reason. In the next few years, they're going to pick up traction. I think more feedback.
So they did this cylindrical tourbillon, and then they did which does the movement, the HMC 810. And then they did this LM101, which uses the base of MB&F's legacy machine with Moser's minimalist styles in 4 color variants, which were aqua blue, red fume, cosmic green, and Moser's funky blue fume, which is this one. And again, you can see it spinning there. The most noticeable departure from the original Legacy Machine 101 is the removal of the floating subdials, having just the hour, minute, and power reserve indicator hands. All logos and text have been removed too, adding Moser's subtle influence. And the large 40mm wide sensor balance and its surrounding bridges dominate the dial. Very architectural in design. It holds the Straumann double balance spring, of course, made by Precision Engineering, and a double AR-coating sapphire crystal is, of course, domed, but nowhere near as much as the Indian Endeavour cylindrical tourbillon, which allows for a more legible view of the dial. And this watch has a manually wound movement, which is visible through the case back, and is hand finished, giving 45 hours power reserve. It's 16 mil thick, which is less than the 19 mil of the last one. And again, 15 of each colorway were made, costing $52,000 in 2020. And I just love that suspended balance spring. That's the signature of the watch, I guess.
Moser and their minimalism. Their minimalism always works. They seem to smash it. This is a good example of that. It's really nice. It's cool. It's cool how they highlight the most important features and make sure that they are front and center. It would have been nice to have seen where they could have put the Moser name like offset at the 11 o'clock position or something cool. But yeah, minimalism is their thing, and it works so well in this.
Yeah, I agree. I wish they put their name between the two bases of the swishbone. Let's say, just like a tilted small Moser engraved.
Yeah,
like
just something. Yeah, on the yeah, just arcing around that gap.
Yeah,
would be awesome.
Exactly. It would be unnoticeable so much, but at least something, But the minimalism really works quite well. This one is not for me.
And they can do some. Yeah. They could do some cool stuff with the printing and make it a soft silver, so you only see it in certain lights.
Yeah.
And other lights it sort of disappears. What do you think, Mr. JCB?
Yeah, it's interesting. You talk about minimalism with Moser. I think when I think of their what's their that Endeavour? I think the Pioneer, just the general Pioneer line. It's sort of it's too bland for me. But then when you start getting into these complicated pieces, that's when it starts getting interesting. And really, it's really cool. This sort of, you got to start spending the money on the Mosers, I reckon, for me anyway.
That's true.
For them to be interesting.
Once you start getting like minute repeated tourbillons and stuff, so then it gets really interesting to look at.
I love that skeleton one with the cylindrical tourbillon that they did. That was really cool.
It's just beautiful.
But
and for me, the minute repeater, seeing the gongs,
really cool.
Seeing the rings of the minute repeater on the inside, it's just stunning. It just completes it. Oh, amazing.
So from Moser onto a bit of a company which has changed its designs over time, and
not Richard Mille, please not Richard Mille, please not Richard Mille. Please.
No.
I beg of you.
HYT. HYT is a company which began life as a hydromechanical horologist, founded in 2012 by Lucien Vuillemors in Neuchâtel, Switzerland. Baron Patrick Baudot envisaged a unique way to tell the time using liquid, and the brand started integrating cutting-edge fluidic technology developed and manufactured by Crucifix SA. HYT remains the only watchmaking company to display timing with fluids. When HYT launched in 2012, it introduced its first hybrid timepiece, the H1, during Basel World, which won 3 awards the same year, using the best innovative watch of 2012 at GPHG. 5 years later, in 2017, HYT released the H0 collection of watches in silver, blue, and blue, with blue fluid, black with orange fluid, and black with green fluid. Both the H0 that's on the screen and the original H1 use the same movement and are pretty futuristic looking watches. There's a central hand to each HYT watch that represents the minute, and the small dial to the left shows the seconds. The hours, however, are presented around the edge of the dial in a tube filled with clear liquid and the coloured fluid that travels around the dial circumference. The mechanical movements are located in the top part of the watch, which is hand wound, and it powers the camera that pushes the pistons to activate the bellows. The bellows are visible from the dial, and the case pack is made from electro-deposited alloy. Once the bellows have been activated, the liquid is then pumped around the outside rim of the dial, and from one of the bellows positioned at 6 o'clock. The liquid reaches the outer bellow, which has made a full circuit before returning to the original position known as the rewind. This H0 on screen is large but apparently comfortable, and it has a lookless case design which helps it wear smaller, but it's 48.8mm wide and 17.9 thick. Most of the case is covered by a bold style sapphire crystal, which makes the crystal not just a place to be seen, but seen the dial, but also a significant part of the case construction, which is 30-meter water resistant. And there's a loom applied to the dial, in a strip of loom under the capillary tube, as well as loom on the traditional hands. And you get a combination of traditional legibility with a modern take. And the dial very much wants to be an instrument indicating the time before it wants to be just a piece of pop culture. Futurism, I feel, which is important because of the $39,000 price tag, which is retailed in 2017, or any time for that matter. Even the most adventurous collectors of quirky watches still want a device that is a tool, I guess, and not just a toy. Changing the time with the HYT caliber 101 is, of course, slightly slower than on most watches with a traditional mechanism. And the caliber 101, which is hand wound, gives up to 65 hours of power reserve. The movement is exclusive to HYT, meaning made only for them, but I'm not positive whether the movement is made for them or others. And the the liquid hour indicator system to the right of the minute hand shows the 2 different coloured liquids, one clear, one coloured, which is designed not to mix. Shows how the liquids move in relation to one another in the tube. Temperature can affect the volume of the liquids, I believe, so there's a thermal compensator system in the movement which allows for some change in the liquid's volume, which might otherwise actually cause change in the movement. I believe the HYT filed for bankruptcy in 2021. I know that Carrios Technology Switzerland SA purchased their assets later that year. I think they're still making watches, but I haven't really heard much about them in a while. And I can see really why they did go bankrupt, because they're not for me, these watches. They're not for me at all. I don't know what you all think.
I love the concept. I love the idea of liquid inside a watch to show the time.
Yeah, I agree.
I wouldn't pay that much for it. And I like the concept because it's a really nice idea and unique as well. You don't get to see it a lot.
It is unique. You're right, Abdul. Yeah.
It reminds me of depth gauge watches. I think that Oris depth gauge that fills that a special hole in the crystal that allows to fill up the
Yes.
calculate. That gives you that sort of feel. But yeah, like me, like everyone else here, I think not our jam. It's
yeah.
It's just I don't know, man.
Do you feel like it's a bit gimmicky in a way?
Yeah, spot on. Yeah.
Yeah, like I get the engineering and the innovation, but it just always seemed for HYT, it just seemed a bit of a gimmick. Probably that's not a fair assessment, but it's just how I feel, I guess. And just looking at this piece, like I just wouldn't wear something like this. So yeah, HYT was just never something that struck a chord with me as a brand.
I think they did something special this year at Watches and Wonders. That's what they call it. They did have like a booth, a presentation of something new under the new ownership. But for the life of me, I can't remember. So it must have been quite, Bremont in that way.
Yeah, a bit Bremontish.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that the niche of them are like engineers that are working in the hydraulic and pneumatic systems. It's very small. Very small.
It's the plumber's watch.
Yeah. Like a CEO of a plumber company, yeah, that would make sense. That's my work.
Yeah. Got the green. It has to be green. It can't be blue. It has to be green liquid.
Yeah.
Or brown. Maybe brown liquid would be
brown.
The plumber's edition, limited. That's funny.
Yeah.
So what happened? They actually went bankrupt, and then someone?
Yeah, went bankrupt in 2021, but they got bought out, and they're still making watches. One of them was on the thumbnail, but they're not. They're not showing the pump. They're not showing the bellows on the front of the watch anymore.
Jeez.
Which was one of the sort of novel attractions to the watch.
I think there's been rumors that they're going to go bankrupt again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like there's rumors that they're still not making sales, even with this new ownership. That's in the last 3-4 years, it's been pretty stagnant. Shame.
Yeah, I think I don't know if but I read that a lot of Swiss small companies have issues, and we might go into some kind of independent crisis in the next couple of years, to be honest.
You're right.
Yeah, okay.
I just want to just pause for a sec, Thomas, and just welcome a lot of punters who have just joined us in the chat. We've got NATO, Patel, Patrick B.
Patrick B. Hi, Patrick B. Good to see you.
Welcome, gents.
Good, Grace. Good to see you.
And we're graced by Aaron Fletcher's presence as well, which is fantastic.
Aaron Victoria Fletcher.
Yeah,
how you doing?
If I've missed anyone, thanks very much. It's good to see you all.
Hi, Methy.
He's there. Yeah.
Good to see you.
Got a quick
I don't know what I'm going to be like
with
with time. I don't know how much you still got to go, Thomas. But I think if I could be here for another 20 minutes or so, the sun is just it's like 2 o'clock here.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up in 35 minutes. We're gonna wrap up in 35 minutes. So we'll plow through a few more.
Awesome.
So
yeah, there's some really interesting ones. What's that Belgium company again? The oil-filled ones. They reached out to me. They are cool. What's the name of them again? It might be featured.
So Vianney Halter is part of the first wave of pioneer watchmakers. Vianney Halter celebrated as the king of steampunk in the world of horology, which is significantly influenced the landscape. His unconventional designs have inspired fellow independent watchmakers, and his trademark creations such as the Space, Antica, and Classic are now part of history of watchmaking, independent watchmaking. Born in Paris in 1963, Vianney went to watchmaking school and graduated at the age of 17. He found that very interesting and performed very well. He immediately got a job offer for a year and worked in Paris restoring clocks, and then worked in the shop for over 2 years that dealt mostly in vintage clocks, and found that working with highly complex timepieces was rewarding and educating experience, and so his talent for crafting complicated watches is no doubt in depth to that period. Vianney decided to leave Paris in 1989 when Francois Paul Jean invited Vianney to work for him in St. Croix, Switzerland, at THA, Technology Horology Appliquée, where Vianney works with Jean, Denis Flachelet, Dominique Moret, Pascal Consor, and others. This group was founded to create new modern different things. There Vianney worked like crazy on the Breguet Sympathy clock, and this is a super sophisticated with a wristwatch in a 15-kilo clock fitted with a bimetallic balance wheel and gold cylindrical hairspring. Vianney had to make a D10 escapement, which was hard work, and he worked for 72 hours non-stop, but was now in an environment where he could focus 100% on watchmaking, unlike his days of going out in Paris. After 3 years, Vianney had enough with the THA and relationships there, and he'd been introduced to Francois Junot, who became his best friend, and they worked together and set up a small workshop at Junot's place. In 1992-1993, Vianney started working for Frank Muller, producing highly complex and unique watches. As Vianney got more clients like Audemars Piguet, Mauboussin, Jacques Drouot, and others, he created the Janvier SA company in 1994, where he had lots of work. And that slowed down in 1996 because of the financial crashes in Asia, and because he couldn't choose his developments and creations for contractual reasons. And he created the Antica watch out of a necessity to showcase his work. And this is the Antica watch. And to get more out of his clients from his watches. That time was the old style watchmaking with mostly unique pieces and no serial production. Then came the Goldfield project with the HCI, and the classics offer something a bit more affordable. And the Opus 3 with Harry Winston, headed by Max Booth in 2023, which was this one. Vianney continued developing projects for the brands. The Cabeston, which was made originally to be sold under the name, but ended up being sold to a third party. By this time, Vianney had a pretty large skilled team, and in 2007 made the Janvier No. 1, a watch paid tribute to Antti Janvier, who inspired Vianney Halter, and that's this one. This is a moon and sun annual calendar with lunar calendar, moon phase, and running equation of time. And in between all of this, he kept working concepts like resonance and other creative projects. So you can see the Janvier, which is a moon and time, lunar moon time Okay.
It's gorgeous. That first one you showed off was just unbelievable. So nice.
Yeah, his watches are amazing, to be honest. They're not my kind of style. I wouldn't wear one, but they're really nice to appreciate.
Vianney now has about 5 or 6 people in his workshop and realised that he didn't want to spend time managing people like he was managing 30 people. He wanted to be a watchmaker at the bench. And Vianney does almost everything in-house now. A few parts engine turned or machined outside, but prototypes are entirely made in-house. For example, the 42 steel bridges of the tourbillon cages on the Deep Space tourbillon, which I showed there.
Yeah, that's mental. The
Deep Space tourbillon resonance, all made in the workshop. Same with the cases. If there are two to few cases to make, they may have been machined by a supplier, but they'll be finished in the workshop. And at the end of the day, about only 10 watches per year are produced. There are a few loyal collectors who, even if they haven't seen a watch, will want it, which is a good position to be in. And Holo's stayed a relatively low profile and stayed away from the speculative investors, I believe, who just kept the rights to his name. So this is the Deep Space tourbillon resonance, which is absolutely mind-blowing. It's £1 million. It's £1
million.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Made in 2020. This is the prototype, and this sells for £1 million now in the limited edition, which is a retailer. There's one for, I think it's just under £1 million, 950,000, I think it is.
That's bearable then. That's doable, you know.
I've just got some pictures up, Thomas, that shows it from side on. And you've got it there. Okay, cool.
That's crazy.
That is insanity. What?
So it's like a 3-axis.
So that whole
3-axis tourbillon. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, it's mental.
If only it was in a prettier case. The movement is incredible. But the case looks a little bit brutish, you know, for the elegance of the movement. That's a prototype, so it makes sense. But
the original did actually look like this. I mean, it rotates. It rotates 3 directions. So it moves round. It rotates round. It's bizarre. It's just amazing. It was such a feat of engineering.
Unbelievably cool.
Oh, back to. But yeah, I mean, it really is cool. It really is. You're talking amazing. I mean, but for a quarter of the price, you could have his original Deep Space tourbillon, not the resonance one, which is this one. It just shows you here.
Unreal.
That's crazy.
So this watch and the resonance version from 2020 were inspired by Star Trek. And I remember talking to Vianney at the AHCI show in Geneva 2 years ago and talking about the resonance version. And he said, I wanted to make a kind of watch that Captain Kirk would wear. About 25 pieces of the tourbillon version have been made, and it's no doubt themed on the Deep Space Nine space station, as you can see here.
Really sick, really nice. I love that case. That case works.
If you just look at that, you can see it's sort of.
Yeah.
It's
the resemblance.
The resemblance is designed on the Deep Space Nine space station from Star Trek, and the watch actually wears like a UFO on the wrist, and looks in shape a little bit like the MB&F legacy machines. The triple axis tourbillon rotates in the middle of the dial, and the two blue hands orbit the dial and indicate the hours and minutes. And the manually wound caliber VH-113 has a 55 hours power reserve.
I hope these Star Trek designers are getting all these royalties from all these brands. You got like
man.
yeah, you got Vianney, Halter, probably MB&F as well. You know, ripping off all of their designs. You know.
Yeah.
This is a stunner though. This is really pretty. Yeah, I'd totally wear that. That is nice, clean, with all the tech inside it. That's what you want. Case works too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Vianney Halter. Absolutely, he's an absolute genius. He's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I feel like he's probably the best watchmaker that nobody knows about. I reckon Vianney Halter. Like the average punter just probably hasn't heard of this guy. He's someone that once you get deep down into rabbit holes, you learn about him. But the average punter probably has never heard of this guy. I reckon.
Yeah.
I've only ever seen his pieces up at auctions, Phillips auctions, and the rest. I've never seen them for sale publicly. They're always at Sotheby's or Phillips or some of the big,
So this one goes for £250,000, which is less than the Resonance version.
Oh, that's doable. That's doable.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's doable, I guess. So another man behind the scenes really is Andreas Strehler for me, and he got his first job in the industry back in 1991 at Renault Papi, and his sponsor Robert Grubel and another well-known colleagues have been Bart, Tim Gronfeld, Stephen Foster, and Christophe Claret, to mention only a few. Strehler was put forward as a member of the AHCI by Paul Gerber, and today is known to industry insiders as the engineer for brands, but also as a watchmaker. He has some outstanding watches to offer for whatever reason, and still so many years is almost like a secret even for collectors of fine watchmaking. Newly qualified in 1991, Andreas Strehler became the first watchmaker to be taken on by founding makers of Renault Papi, and hired as a prototypist. He was soon making headway as a movement builder and designer. Part of the team led by Robert Grubel. Strehler says that even after that, Robert Grubel lent him the computer with an early CAD software program back then, and he never looked back at using a pencil for doing designs. And Renault Papi and Strehler got down to work on the RMA 90 caliber project for a minute repeater movement that Audemars Piguet launched in 1990. The mechanical movement was making its comeback, and Renault Papi turned to a hotbed of talent. Alongside Guido Papi and Dominique Renault came Bart, Tim Gronfeld, Stephen Fosse, and Christophe Claret. This dream team has joined evenings and weekends by more watchmaking fanatics, the likes of Carrie Bousselane, and at the time working with Parmigiani, and the McGonagall brothers, John and Stephen, who are both Audemars Piguet. Peter Speak Mine also joined them shortly after, and surrounded by so many distinguished watchmakers whose destinies are today well known, it's easy to see why Andreas Strehler felt the urge to set off on the road to independence, the very one that would take him back to his native Winterthur in Switzerland in 1995. Here he found he could always count on Robert Grubel, who contacted Andreas to assemble complicated watches for Renault and Papi, and should any antique timepieces come in for restoration, he jumped at the chance. He wanted to make his first own watch, make his mark, and something he knew he would never achieve as long as he remained in the shadows. He wanted to make a watch different to the projects he had worked on at Renault Papi, and in 1998 his perpetual desk calendar represented a new version of his interpretation of Abraham Louis Breguet's sympathetic clock. in which a pocket watch is inserted into a recess in a master clock to be automatically wound and set to the correct time. Strehler's Titian calendar was in fact more complex than Breguet's clock, and the petrol calendar has a mechanical memory that resets the day, and month as soon as the absent owner returns and slips a steel pocket watch back into the housing. With such an incredible creation under his belt, Andreas has been made the youngest member of the HCI, just 27. He patented a time display switch with a push-button operation, and the following year saw the presentation of the corresponding pocket watch called Cie number 2. Besides developing and producing watches of his own, Andreas Strehler began to construct movements for 4 other famous brands. He developed the chronoscope for Chronoswiss in 2003, which was elected Watch of the Year. The same year, his cooperation with H. Moser began and led to the creation of the Moser Perpetual, which took first place in the GPHG in the form of the complication category. In 2005, he founded his own development center, Urwerk AG, which enabled him to attain greatest possible scope for manufacturing precision. And as a result, Strehler is now not only a gifted developer and constructor with a high reputation for reliability, but also an entrepreneur who's able to develop all components and parts, apart from balance springs and mainsprings, and manufacture them at Urwerk AG. What's more, if a machine required for their manufacture does not exist, he develops one himself. And Strehler built Urwerk AG in a small Swiss town of Siena, near Zurich, saying he had outgrown the family garage in Winterthur and built it in an old textile mill. He says that keeping a certain distance from the lock and a shorter front allows him to work with relative discretion, which would be impossible anywhere near the big manufacturers where nothing stays secret for long. In 2006, he developed the chronograph for Maurice Lacroix, which was their first announced movement. In 2007, partnered with Harry Winston for the Opus 7. Over the following years, individual clients demanded more pieces, and in 2008, he created the Papillon and the Cochon in 2012. The Papillon being the one on the screen, the Papillon d'Or, actually. Both examples of Andreas Strehler's philosophy of the perfect minimalization of movement as a living organism. Papillon, which is French for butterfly, was the name given to the Papillon Classic that Andreas made, which is one large bridge in the form of a butterfly, which holds a gear train with only 2 large wheels, which are probably the largest wheels ever used in a wristwatch, creating a gear train of Victorian dimensions, which is delicate yet sturdy. The Papillon d'Or superseded the Classic and became the icon of the current range. Strehler's Lunar Exact is the most precise moon phase of the moon indication ever made, and held the Guinness World Record for the most precise lunar phase wristwatch since 2014, being the only one being by only one day in 2 million years. Sorry. I wonder whether the new IWC turn calendar has taken that record now, being accurate something like 43 million years. The lunar exact moon indication shows the age of the moon correct to 3 hours using the vernier scale. And Andreas is also big into remontoirs and uses a development and described them to me as an application of mechanical solutions. The remonteur de Galatae stores the energy of supply from the twin mainsprings and releases it once a second as a controlled impulse to the escapement. It filters all interferences from the gear train. Strehler worked on developing the remontoire for Grunfeld in 1941, almost loads of other watches. In 2018, he built a transaxial remontoire tourbillon, which he felt he could add his idea of precision to that of Breguet tourbillon. as his remonstrant d'égalité is now complicated as a tourbillon in the same axis as the tourbillon, and the remonstrant is situated on top of it, being transaxial. Like this, the two devices can be built as light as compact as possible with few parts. This transaxial remonstrant was first in watchmaking, like the tourbillon was 200 years ago, in a similar layout that was copied by Seiko for their Kodo constant force 4 years ago. But Andreas came up with the idea first. So this is the Papillon d'Or. I don't know what you think of this. Whether you're a fan of it or not.
Oh, I'm just trying to take all of that in. I noticed the butterfly, and I thought, yeah, that's a Papillon for sure. I'm having room service coming in now, and I'm going to have to excuse myself, boys.
That's okay. That's cool.
All good.
Been good to have you, ID guy. Been good to have you. Always a pleasure.
Nice to catch up, boys. We're gonna have a call sometime. Phone's always on me. Maybe you can call me this week. I'm off. I'm free. But
yeah, we'll have a call. Definitely.
Nice.
Take care.
Sorry for overloading you.
No, it's okay. It's okay. But yeah, boys, I'll see you when I see you. How long has it been? An hour 40. It's pretty decent. I'm gonna go get smashed by the waves for a while.
Check out, as always, check out ID Guy's channel.
Before you go, ID Guy, what do you think of this watch though? Really, would you like give us your designer's take?
I would wear it. I would totally wear it. I think it's very pretty. The asymmetry is nice. I would have the dial on the opposite side of where the crown is. I think it would be a bit nicer to have a bit of spacing aside. But
same thing,
yeah, the butterfly bridge is quite pretty. I don't know. A lot of it seems just sort of added on for the sake of it, but you know, the case is gorgeous too. That's also really nice. Yeah, altogether, I mean, the detailing is something else. I love just having a look at the perlage, engraving. It's amazing. These independents are just above and beyond. It's another level.
Is the bezel slightly cushion shaped as well? If you have a look at it, like it seems like
it looks like a cushion case. It sure does. It does have a 20s feel to it.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. I like Strehler's watches are nice and thin as well. This would probably be like 9mm or something.
Yeah, because he brings everything up from underneath, so it'll be I don't see, and the barrels there. Yeah, this will be skinny. It's really nice having the movement stacked inside. Yeah, you're probably spot on. It's like 9mm, maybe even like 8.5mm thick. Killer piece, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay, boys, that's me. I'm off.
Enjoy, man.
Go and
Take care, ID Guy.
Take care now.
Enjoy.
See you, ID Guy. Thank you.
Really, thank you for having me. And
Always.
hopefully, if I get my upload schedule right, I'll be able to join you again on Saturdays. If I plan the uploads for Friday instead, maybe we can work something out. Cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Catch you in the next one.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Yeah.
Cheers, boys. Just keep in touch. Send me
have a great holiday and enjoy your holiday. Yeah.
Enjoy the sun for us.
Thank you.
Enjoy the sun. Yeah. Take care.
You. Bye.
So I just want to share a bit more of a quirky Andreas watch, which was the Andreas Time Shadow. Now this watch, of course, has the Papillon d'Or butterfly logo prominently placed on the dial, and this watch came out in 2016, being his entry-level watch, apparently, and the first movement made without the butterfly design integrated into its architecture. Functionally, it only displays the hours and minutes, and the disc on the left on the dial uses a semi-digital readout rotating anti-clockwise to have the hour number highlighted on an orange dot and of superluminova panes. The minutes use a more traditional off-centered dial to the right. Legibility is pretty good, but purists may not like the overlapping dials, as well as the fact that the minute dial doesn't have a complete ring of indicators. The There are only 8 pieces made, and they cost 56,000 Swiss francs in 2016. And first steel watch from the brand. Do you prefer this one or the Papillon d'Or? This is a bit more quirky, this one. I guess.
I would take this one actually. I wasn't a big fan of the skeletonized look. This one looks more quirky to me if I'm looking for a more quirky watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm into the other one for sure, man. The Papillon, that skeleton piece, just beautiful. Love it. But I'm a skeleton guy, so that's
that's
my
sure.
thing. But yeah, this is kind of cool too. But yeah, I prefer the other one. Yeah.
So
Y2K, what are your thoughts there, mate?
Not my cup of tea.
Not your jam.
It's too. Yeah, I mean the color contrast number one is really just
So, not fans of this one. I'll quickly skip on to Ludovic Ballouard. I'm a real fan of this watch. This is the Upside Down, and Ludovic Ballouard was born in Brittany, France in 1971. He grew close to the sea with a special interest in assembling and flying radio control model aircraft. Given his apparent abilities in assembling and disassembling these planes composed of infinitely small pieces, a teacher of his suggested to attend the school of watchmaking, so began a journey of passion. However, due to the fact that openings and workings as a watchmaking in Brittany were scarce, he began his career as a technician for airplane control panels, which remained for 6 years. Fortunately, his passion for watchmaking was one that he could not ignore, and so his heart led him to work in one of the major hubs for watchmaking in Geneva, Switzerland. And he started work with 3 years later after the sales services department with Frank Muller. Following his departure from Frank Muller, one afternoon Ludovic telephoned a friend who was working at FP Jean, and Faye would have a highly sought-after position as a watchmaker become vacant that very morning. And he was initially only going to work for 6 months, but ended up staying for 7 years. His last 3 years was FP Jean. Ludovic was responsible for assembling the outstanding and extremely complicated Sonnery Souverain. His work with these marvels proved that Ludovic Ballouard was a highly talented watchmaker, and Ludovic Ballouard's greatest dream had always been to create his own watches, as he had a head full of ideas for different complications. Even though the financial crisis was in full force around the globe, Ludovic decided to follow his dream, and the journey started in May 2009. With collectors waiting impatiently and suppliers eager to work, Ludovic created his first timepieces, the Upside Down, which was born in December 2009, which is this watch. Ludovic Ballouard had the idea of creating a highly complicated and eccentric timepieces with the utmost simplicity of its presentation of time. And Ludovic wanted to remind people that the most important time is the present, and the Upside Down perfectly embodied that. The way time is presented in the Upside Down should remind you that how important it is to live in the moment. The past and the future time is literally presented upside down to tell you that there should be no regrets about the past which you cannot change, and no qualms for the future which you don't know anything about. For the Ballouard caliber B01 movement, Ballouard used a reliable Purser 7001 caliber with the adding jumping disc mechanism. And the jumping discs are controlled by Maltese crosses with a snail cam that is connected to the center wheel. The snail cam controls the jumping discs every hour, and the manually hand-wound movement gives 36 hours power reserve. The 41mm case is platinum with an unusual platinum crown, and the sides of the case are concave rather than flat or convex, as is typical and price in 2016 was 56,000 Swiss francs. Now, I'm absolutely in love with this watch. I really like it. I think it's an absolute beauty. I just love its numbers are all upside down, apart from the one, like the number 10, as you can see. So this is saying about 13 minutes past 10 at the moment.
Why is the 10? Why is the 10 not upside down? There's a reason for that.
Yeah, because that's the time. That's the hour. It's indicating.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
So it's got a dot. A dot appears by the hour, which is indicating.
So they flip to the right way when it's when it's that.
They flip to the right way when it's that time. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and the movement is awesome. I saw him in 2018 also in Baselworld, and it's just crazy to see in real. You have like a system on every numeral that flips when the hour comes.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
Maltese cross. Yeah.
Far out.
That's unique.
That must be pretty hard to do, hey?
Yeah.
That must be really hard.
And the guy is really cool as well, Ludwig. He explains it with so much passion, and it's a really, really nice watch. This is one I definitely get one if I have the budget for it.
Me too. I'd definitely get one of these. I can't remember whether I tried one on at the HCI show or not, but yeah, I saw it in hand, and it was absolutely stunning. So classic, so you know,
it's understated. It's
understated. It's a real dress watch. It's you know, the regulator hand for the minute, and the just a quirky hour display. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
I was sitting here thinking, what's the big deal? Like, the numbers are just upside down, but then, like, it all makes sense. Yeah. This watch is off the chart, man. This is crazy.
It flips round, yeah.
That's mental. Okay.
And he does them with Arabic dials and different numerals, and but
he has one that has like 2 discs of numerals, and on the 12 o'clock, only the numerals that is the correct timing now are the ones that you can see correctly. All the other ones.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that one. That's called the half time.
Yeah, that's pretty cool as well. Like, sometimes I'm wondering how.
This one, the half-time, driven by his original idea and philosophy, Ludovic Ballouard went on to create his next model, the half-time, which was presented in January of 2012. The half-time is even more complicated, but it maintains the original philosophy by having a dial that presents time simply. The numeral that displays the hour is a hole at the 12 o'clock position, while the rest of the numerals are cut in half, perpetually reminding you that the most important time is the present. And Ballouard had the choice of including the minutes in the middle of the dial. However, he opted for making the movement even more complicated by integrating retrograde minutes, staying true to his desire of continuously adding complications to his timepieces. Both the upside down and half time, Ballouard focused on finding a method so that the back of his timepieces truly displayed all the aspects of the movement to the naked eye. The idea is that the dial should bring a smile to your face, while the movement will fascinate you, and you can see the whole complication yet moving through the exhibition case back. His reputation as a highly talented watchmaker was rewarded as Harry Winston entrusted him with the development of the Opus 13, which he executed for Baselworld 2013. Today, Ludovic Ballouard works from his workshop in the countryside of Geneva in Switzerland, and his imagination continues to flourish in leaving collectors and watch enthusiasts around the world patiently awaiting his next model. But as Abdul said, this is the half-time. So you can see the time at 12 o'clock is full, but all the other numerals are blurred. And they rotate in different directions to make up the dials.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So with this retrograde minutes at the bottom for going to 60. So that's a quirky dial. I prefer the upside down myself, but do you like this one more, Abdul?
I like the upside down as like if you're wearing an elegant watch for let's say a dress watch, but for a quirky one, this one would be my pick because it has the retrograde for the minutes. You have a very new jump hour complication, which I don't see anywhere else. So you get these two complications together, which make it even more quirky.
Yeah. So I just wanted to finish on Christophe Claret. So I'll just bring up one watch of his myself before I ask you to. So Christophe Claret is a master watchmaker who began his career working on antique and vintage watches for an expert restorer. In 1978, he attended the Geneva watchmaking school and set up his watchmaking workshop in Lyon, France. After graduation, he started working with Roger Dubuis, the famous Geneva watchmaker, and Claret started skeletonizing watches and creating his own quarters beaters on his own. His work with big brands began in 1987 when he began making minute repeaters for Ulysse Nardin. Founded its manufacturer in Le Chaux-de-Fonds, Switzerland, and in 1999 moved his manufacturer to the Soleil d'Or, a mansion overlooking Le Loch, where it still stands today. In 2009, Claret created his brand while continuing to make movements and complete watches for brands throughout the industry. Christophe Claret is known as a specialist in chiming watches, including minute repeaters. Gaming watches are a big part of Claret's collection, including the blackjack, the baccarat, and the poker watches. His Margot watch for women stunned the world with a movement that allows the wearer to play "He loves me not." His Extreme One watches also merge movements with their traditional enemy magnets to tell the time with floating ball bearings. And the Angelica watch on the screen, made by Christophe Claret in 2023, is a 45 millimeters wide, 15.32 thick, and 30 meters water resistant. It comes in gold and titanium cased variants. The movement is a detent escapement as opposed to just lever escapement, but in wristwatch form. Detent style escapements are extremely accurate, but really designed for more stable surfaces and immobile clock. And this successfully engineered shock-resistant detent escapement in the Angelico has made the entire escapement assembly placed on a rotating platform, which makes a full rotation every 90 seconds, effectively making the first detent escapement tourbillon. The Angelico also has a Fusine chain style transmission system, but rather than using a metal chain, a strong nanofiber cable has been used. According to Claret, this smaller cable has improvements over metal in both efficiency, longevity, and performance by less friction. The point of the conical system is to gradually move power and from the mainspring to the movement. All of this is contained in the in-house made Caliber DTC-08 manually wound movement, which has 72 hours power reserve spread between two barrels. The minutes are indicated by a small ruby crown, which has which moves around the periphery of the dial. And there are also 2 jumping hour windows that show the time in 2 different time zones. The pushers on the side of the case allow you to advance the jump hour windows, and they're quite small, which aren't brilliantly legible, but can still be read. Each version in different metals is limited to 10 pieces each and was 218,000 in titanium, Swiss francs, or 238,000 in 18-karat red gold, Swiss francs. So this is the Angelico with this, as you can see, this fusone chain, but with a red, a small red cable instead of a chain. You can see there, and you can see that's the back of it, but it tells the time, the hours in this, and in these cut out jump hour.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And then it points with this minute pointer at the minute. So it's a really discombobulating affair. Really, I mean, just look at it. It's like, what on earth am I looking at? What does this do? You know,
you got to look all over the place to figure out what the time is.
Yeah, but it's genius. I really like it. Yeah. I mean, it's just
one of those things where it's like, who cares what the time is? You're just looking at all the mechanics.
It's all for the view. Yeah.
I just want to know the dosage of LSD he used for the design. That would be really good.
I want some, whatever it is.
Yeah, I want some of that.
100%.
I love his watch that has like 2 metal balls on each side to tell the time.
Well, we'll bring those up, JCB. You can the extreme one. See that one on the bottom left.
Yeah, the blue one is my favorite.
The blue one.
The bottom left, the blue one.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Extreme one. This is 268,000. I'm guessing that's US dollars.
So these use magnetic balls to tell the time on the side, don't they? I think they've got a tourbillon in the middle.
Yeah, it's like the idea of having a magnet in the watch is just crazy for me, because we all know about magnetism and that when your watch is magnetized, it runs faster. So basically having 2 magnets on each side of the watch, that's just mind-blowing that the watch keeps time.
What's this case material on this blue one?
Looks like some kind of, maybe if it's not an alloy, maybe some kind of carbon alloy, maybe.
These are just renders, these pictures here. Let's have a look. That's PVD titanium, blue PVD titanium.
Okay. It doesn't look
crazy
like to me. They really did well with that. Like, I would never guess that that's PVD.
Yeah, because of all, it looks like it's like sort of Damascus sort of finish, right?
Exactly, yeah. You can see the layers and everything.
So you got these magnets that pull these balls up through this tube. That is mental. What the fuck?
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's totally crazy. And so how did they get it to work, as you say, Abdul, with the magnetism, with the movement? Like, that's just defies, conventional watchmaking logic, having a movement run off magnetism.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make sense.
On both sides, like maybe because they are on both sides, they cancel each other, but it's just, like the engineering behind it is very cool.
Yeah, cool. Super
He
cool.
does some weird watches with games on as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, let's have a look at this one, the poker. Christophe Claret poker. So what the hell is going on here? It's like
a watch for the gamblers. Maybe these buttons you can.
Like if you press the buttons, does it deal you a hand or something?
I think so.
Yeah, I reckon it does.
Yeah, I think so.
12 pieces, limited edition. Let's see what it does. 2 games, Texas Hold'em with poker game with chime. There you go.
Wow.
So, some sort of, yeah, okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but bizarre stuff, really, isn't it? I mean, this is a playing game. This is like Jacob and Co. sort of stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's this shit? Napoleon. What the hell is this?
It's like an enamel picture of a Napoleon battle, looks like it, right?
Is that from the Civil War? Can't tell.
No, I think it's like the French Revolution.
French Revolution?
That, yeah, Napoleon.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, there's a Napoleon.
I wonder if the things move around, though. Like, is it an automaton type of situation?
Maybe it's like a chime watch.
Let's have a look.
Like a gong or something.
Man, this is 600 grand. What are you talking about? Fuck it. What?
It's
this
made
guy is on that big time.
French aristocracy.
Jesus.
I mean, Christophe Claret is right up there, isn't he? It's
Yeah,
boom.
It's an automaton, so stuff on there moves.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Things will move. That's why it must be so expensive. I think.
Maybe the hands of Napoleon.
Yeah, the hands I think look like they will move.
Yeah.
It'd be good to see a video of this somehow. I'll just see if they've got a video somewhere. Yeah, no, they don't have it.
His pieces are just out there, really.
I like the extreme one. That's my favorite one. That's my favorite one. Yeah.
Just the idea of magnets is for me.
Yeah, the fact that they can each like what Dennis says. It says the about the magnet. Where is this? My understanding is the magnets are very specialized, so that field to such a movement.
Wow.
Yeah.
That alone is a feat, like putting a magnet on the watch and specializing the field so it doesn't affect the movement. That's pretty hardcore engineering. Like, I gotta respect that.
Because you need to separate the magnetism that doesn't affect the movement as well.
Baccarat. That's another gambling game, right?
Yeah. Look, it's got yeah, it deals you some cards up here. Yeah, and down there. Yeah, that's cool. What's this game? Baccarat, is that a game? Is
Baccarat, it's a card game. Yeah.
Okay.
So for every gambler, there is their type. Whatever game you play as a gambler, Christophe Claret made a watch for you.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, bizarre. But you're talking 400,000 for one of these watches. Would you rather go for one of these or a Jacob and Co? That's the question.
Depends if you're a hardcore baccarat player. Maybe this one.
Yeah, depends if you like cards or if you like diamonds more, I guess. Yeah.
It's in a quiet taste. Yeah.
Since you're right way to
go. I could go for the extreme one, to be honest.
I'd go for the extreme as well. You're right. You're up north, yeah.
I'm not a gambler at all, so all the other ones, I respect the engineering behind them, but they're not for me.
I want I'd probably take the blackjack one because, like, if you're just bored as fuck in a meeting At least you can just play a card game, you know, like the.
And you're like, he won.
At least you could do something, you know.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's our roundup, guys. That's
There you go. Some interesting ones, hey. What's
Oops, sorry about that. That's
ID
our roundup, guys.
ID guy sent me or told about us about this guy. I don't know if you want to show them. They're called Maganim. They're from Emirates. I can just show you.
yeah, chuck it up.
Hopefully seeing my screen. So it's called Maganim. That's the Arabic pronunciation for them. And they have like 3 watches: Muharib, Madar, Makina. And basically they offer affordable MB&F style watches. So this one is 6,500.
All right, okay.
And it looks pretty cool, I have to say, for what it is. So like blades, halo, wings, armor. Basically, you can customize which shape you want. This is the guy with the idea. This is how it looks. Another look for it. I like that you can customize the shape of the case.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's pretty cool. Like you have different case shapes, like, and he has different ones. This is one. This is the Madar, and this is a bit cheaper, a bit big. This is not my taste because it has too much stuff. I'd snag the door, or I'd snag some kind of drapes when I'm walking by with this kind of watch.
Yeah, you snag it on something.
Yeah, and this one is 3,950. So
yeah, this is like Urwerk.
Exactly.
Urwerk on a budget, right?
On a budget. And this one, the last one, Makina. Makina is basically a machine. And
so where are they from, Abdul? Where are they based?
I think they're based in Emirates, but sending the watch out of Milan, out of Italy.
Right, okay. Interesting. Right, so before you go, everyone, I'm just dropping a link to Watches with Dennis's live stream that's going to be happening in a couple of hours. It's a great Saturday live stream that he does. So please, go over there, check it out, subscribe, and it's every Saturday. It's a really good fun live stream to check out. So there's just a tip from the Escapement Show. Check out Watches with Dennis. But thank you for joining us, and thank you for joining us, everyone. Thank you to ID Guy for joining us. Great to see him again, and hopefully we'll see him in the future. Thank you to Abdul R Watches, my good friend. Check out his channel. Check out his videos he's been doing. Abdul R Watches, the name of the channel. Easy to remember. And he's been doing some shorts and some reviews, and a few other bits and pieces. So check that out. Thank you to JCB, my good friend. Always great to have him on, my friend.
Thanks, brother.
And thank you to Y2K. We haven't had much from you today, but it's been lovely to have you on as always. So I can't think of much more to say apart from thank you to Bobby Legs for the mug.
Nice.
I'll just I can't help myself with these, but
Bobby Legs loves watches.
Bobby, that was Caribou Tulane and endorsing him. So Bobby Legs loves watches.
Yeah.
Cheers, Bobby. Yeah. Yeah, I got my mug. I got my mug sent from him because I won a prize in his Discord. So
nice.
Cool.
Yeah, great to see you all in. Great to see you all in the chat. Great to see you all in the chat. Thank you for the Cedar. Yeah, great to see you. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Basil's, great to see you, and hope to see you next time. Yeah, and what did you, Dennis? Glad I was able to get up early and learn about some odd watches. Yeah, well, we tried our best. What, Dennis? Yeah, thanks, Junior. Thank you. Good to see you. Great to see you all in the chat. It's what we do it for. We do it for you in the chat, guys. So, yeah. So, take care, and we'll see you next time.
Take care, guys. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Peace out. See you later. Take care.